Welcome back to Section 4 Fans, episode 35 here. And today we're going to be recapping the Western Eastern Conference semifinals from both the NBA and NHL, going back, looking at our predictions and making predictions for the conference finals matchups in both leagues. Then we'll kind of flip it around and go global and kind of hit some of the top soccer leagues, football leagues around the world, and kind of see how the end of the season for those respective leagues have shaped up, how they have panned out. And I think it's going to be a pretty exciting one here. So let's get into it. 35, Carter. 35, man. We're cooking.
35. And that's
We're cooking through these.
Hold on. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I was going to make a reference, but just not the exact amount of games the Premier League has played.
No, not quite. Not
37.
Quite. They do have a bit more than what some of the other leagues do play. But I want to start us in the States here. Obviously, it's been a huge past, I'd say month and a half so far, and I think it will go into June. A big time for sports. We got NHL, NBA finishing out, obviously. MLB has been underway. We've had some pretty big-time horse races as well, so that's entertaining for those sport fans out there. Rip it.
When is it worth talking about baseball?
That's a good question.
Having actual discussions, because
I think, honestly...
Have you seen the chart where it was the first 15 game standings in the AL compared to what it is now, and it's just
I saw that
flipped,
and it flipped completely. I mean, the Angels were sitting pretty good. I believe that graphic was about middle of April, and now they're the worst team in the league. So not a good look for the Angels or for that graphic. But excuse me. I do think that, it is such a long season, 162 games. I do want to touch on it pretty soon, but obviously I think I think the NBA, NHL is kind of cooking at the moment, but we'll definitely hit up baseball. We cannot forget about America's pastime. And then we know the World Cup coming to America, so June through July is going to be an action-packed month for you.
I think baseball is kind of getting pushed under the dust with everything going on in the U.S. because you have
there's just
all
so
that
much
going on. And then also the Summer Olympics are in 2 years, and people are hyped about that because the Olympic qualifiers coming up and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an amazing time if you're a true sports fan, if you're an avid sports fan, if...
And by the time the World Cup's over, people are straight in the NFL because of minicamp.
Yeah, I mean, World
OTAs.
Cup will be over around around July, and at that point, that'll be about the midway mark of the MLB season, so we'll definitely crack into that. But yeah, I think the NFL's heating up. College football obviously has a couple storylines as of late, but kind of wanting to hold off on that until we get a little bit closer to the fall. But I'm very amped for the end of the year. But right now,
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, Rashee Rice, not a good look, but he was going to be out anyway, so it is what it is. Maybe just don't violate your parole, but I wouldn't know that, and I don't hope to know that. So let's get into another game where criminals have been on the court. Back in the day, people played with ankle monitors. That's ball knowledge, if you know. NBA here, we got the second round has wrapped up. The conference semifinals have wrapped up, and now we're on to the Western and Eastern Conference Finals. First, I want to recap the previous round, what the series went and what we had, and then we'll give our predictions for the conference finals matchups. So starting with the conference semifinals, we're going to start in the West here. We both picked the Thunder to beat the Lakers. We did it in 5, and the Thunder actually did it in 4, so not a bad look from us there. Next was the Spurs Wolves. You picked the Spurs in 4. I went with the Spurs in 6, and the Spurs won in 6. Pistons and
Get a half
Cavs.
point for that.
Yeah. Pistons and Cavs was another great series. You had the Cavs in 7. I had the Cavs in 6, and the
Oh my
Cavs won in
gosh.
7.
What a pick by me.
And last conference semifinal in the East, 76ers and Knicks. This did not go the way we thought it was going to go, at least in terms of game length. You had the 76ers in 6 games, and I had the Knicks in 7.
Yeah, I had to ride
Knicks
with
with
my
the sweep.
boys.
Knicks with
I
the
had
sweep,
to.
and they're on right now. So hopefully we'll see how they match up against the Cavaliers here in this next round. So through the first 2 rounds of the NBA playoffs, I got our total records. You have gone 9-3 in your predictions. I've gone 11-1.
What?
The only one I missed was first round. I picked Boston over Philly.
You've gone 11 and
I've
1?
got
Did
that's
you
what I
make a
have.
bracket? You
No, I
should have
didn't,
made a
but I've
bracket.
seen the bracket of the guy that has everything right so far, and he has the Spurs, Knicks in the final with the Spurs winning, and he's had everything right. So that's been pretty crazy to watch that unfold.
Dang, I thought I was on fire at 9 and
And
3,
then
11
for
and
the
1.
little side bonus points, I was kind of just keeping track of if we got the game length correct, not if we got the team right
Okay.
in that time frame. So you had a total of 4 correct series lengths, and I also had 4 as
Out of
well.
how many?
Um,
Oh, well, it's 9,
it'd be like
3, 12.
12. Yeah, it'd be 12. Um, so obviously a hard one. I know early on in a couple of the games or series we didn't do the game predictions, but not too bad in the NBA. I think we've done quite a nice job. Excuse me. And yeah, I've been loving the NBA playoffs so far. Wemby has been stealing the show. I love the action I saw last night. And man, that series is going to be good. Hoping that the Cavs Knicks can keep that energy going that's been going in the West all playoff long. We haven't seen that much out of the East. So it's
A
definitely going to be
Harden,
interesting to
a
see what
Harden
happens.
ring finally.
Yeah, Harden could get his ring finally, or does Cat and the Villanova crew get their rings? So yeah, a
Or
lot could
does just
happen.
New York's
New
gonna
York,
blow
I
up?
believe it. I believe that's their first. That'd be their first win in like 50 years or 50 plus years. So they've gone quite some time without the NBA final win there. We can kind of get it over to the ice here. This has been. I haven't followed it as closely as the NBA, but I've been following it a bit more and more. Uh, just gonna rip it from the top. We're not as good in this as we are in the NBA. I don't
Yeah.
know what's happened on the NBA
I
side of
think,
things.
well, like, I
Um,
think hockey,
it's just a
I,
tough one to call, man.
I feel like there's just so much can happen. Just bounces, just unlucky bounces with the puck. Um, I said that horribly. Just puck luck in general. And then you have injuries as well, which the NBA obviously deals with. But I think there's, you have to roll a lot more guys. It's harder to shorten your bench in the NHL compared to the NBA.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
taxing on the legs, taxing on the body. Just forgot had a little
Well, it's like who's going to guard Wemby? There's not
Chet,
very many
Chet, and
guys.
he's over there mucking oxtails with a do rag on instead of getting in the post and banging around with a couple guys. Pause. Um, but before we get into the NHL, let's crack out our predictions. In the Western Conference Finals, we got Thunder and Spurs. That's a 1-2 matchup, I believe. And Spurs up 1-0 after last night's game that went into double overtime. What do you got? How is the rest of this series going to shape out in your mind?
I think Thunder will win game two. I think Thunder steal one in San Antonio between game three and four. So I think they split both home series. San Antonio. Okay, I think this is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's do that. And then I think OKC in seven.
Okay, scene 7. Okay, I'm gonna have to go against you here. I'm going San Antonio. I'm going San Antonio in 6.
I just
I
think
think
I think OKC playoff experience is gonna put them over
I
the edge.
I think that yes, that's definitely going to play a factor, especially with such a young
And
core.
J-Dub's back as well.
Yeah, a young core in the Spurs, but I do think with having Wimby, that just
Oh,
sets
it's
you
a completely
that
different
already gives
game.
you an amazing chance. But then you throw in guys like Dylan Harper, who had an incredible night last night, 20 points, I believe 10 boards as well, had a couple other stats, really balled out for that was his first start as well in the playoffs because he's been coming in off the bench. Fox was out last night with an injury, but and then you have a great defender like Devin Vassell, and he was absolutely clamping guys up last night. That I saw some stats about OKC players when they were defended by Vassell, and they were basically bricking everything. They were barely getting any shots off. It didn't matter who he was on; they couldn't get anything going. So I think if they can keep that energy up, obviously with Fox coming back in, that will keep the Spurs how they've been going so far. But I think just getting Dylan Harper some experience last night in a pretty hostile environment is going to be good, especially with him coming off the bench. Maybe when Fox comes back, he's just going to be electric and take that place over. But yeah, I'm rolling with the Spurs. Spurs in 6. Next matchup in the East we have, which is underway this moment. Don't know the score at this point, but we have the Cavs and the Knicks. I
Cavs jumped
believe,
out to an early lead.
yeah, it's going to be a great series. Madison Square Garden, another hostile environment to play in. Arguably a tougher one than down in OKC, but this one I'm rolling. Gosh, it's so tough. The Cavs have looked really good. I just hope this kind of almost week off hasn't killed the Knicks. But I will roll with the Knicks. I'll roll with the Knicks in 6.
I'm gonna go Cavs in 6. I think Cavs steal one in Madison Square Garden, win both game 3 and 4 at home, and then we'll win game 6. Um, I think it's more so the Knicks are gonna beat themselves with the amount of. I feel like just New York teams just have a lot more pressure than other markets around the United States slash
Definitely.
Canada. Um, I think the Knicks are probably I think the Knicks are a better team overall, but I think it's just the pressure that gets to them, I believe. And there's just it's a different feel, Madison Square Garden, especially with all the celebrities there and stuff. Obviously it's for me, I have the Cavs winning just based outside of like skill basketball factors.
Okay.
More of a mental, I think
Yeah.
Harden and Donovan Mitchell together in a conference finals
It's
is
no,
just a
it's a good
different.
combo. Hopefully it keeps working out. Donovan Mitchell has had a couple big nights, and Harden's been able to step up when needed. But Jared Allen also he was big for the Cavs, I believe, in Game 6. So with their two big men, if they could keep those guys rocking and rolling, I think the Cavs could be a real test for the Knicks there. Now we can get it over to the ice, and this is where it hasn't been too good for us. Western Eastern Conference semifinals over for the Stanley Cup. We had that matchup, Avs and Wild. You went with the Wild in
Yeah,
7.
I had
I
to.
went with the Avs in 7, and the Avs got it done in 5. Then we get over to Vegas. We got the Golden Knights taking on the Ducks, and you picked the Knights in 5. I went with the Ducks in 6, and the Knights went in 1 in 6. That was a pretty good series, but the Ducks Magic did run out for a couple games there, so not a good way to end the season. But we'll keep it rolling. Sabres, Canadians, what another great series. I mean, the Canadians are just putting together great series after
Telling you,
great series.
Montreal's a crazy place to play.
It's I saw
Different
that
atmosphere.
yeah, so obviously it went to 7 and Montreal won in overtime, and that was last night, yeah. And that was a pretty crazy crazy game there. We both had the Sabres. You had the Sabres in 6. I had the
I
Sabres in
thought of the
5.
Canadians.
You had the Sabres. I went and I watched all these back.
Really?
Yeah, you went
I
with the
thought I
Sabres.
had Canadians if they beat the Lightning, but if the Lightning won, Sabres.
I don't believe so.
I
I
think in
think
my NHL bracket, I had the Canadians.
probably. You were probably smarter in that.
I really like the Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to pull off 2 great Game 7 wins. I believe, yeah, both were away as well. They weren't even in their home ice for that, and they had a pretty big win last night, set off a little earthquake in Montreal. I saw that when that goal went in. But then that last game out in the East, which was done so fast, everyone forgot about. That was the Hurricanes Flyers. We both had the Hurricanes. You had the Hurricanes in 4. I had the Hurricanes in 6. And the Hurricanes swept the Flyers 4-0. Now we have the Avs Knights and the Canadians Hurricanes. Those are the 2 conference final matchups before we get that epic Stanley Cup matchup. So how do you think it's going to go? We can
I'll
start
be,
with the West Conference there,
I'll
Avs
be,
and Golden
yeah,
Knights.
I'll be quick. It's pretty. I think this series, both series, or actually, I think just one is pretty straightforward. I think the Avalanche are just too good of a team. They can roll all 4 lines without an issue. They can trust everyone on the ice. McKinnon, McCarr, Tays on defense as well. They're solid. The only thing that worries me with the Avalanche is the goaltending. Who they're gonna start because they switched goalies for game 6 against the Wild, and then, or excuse me, game 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, game 5 against the Wild, and then they pulled him after the first period, and then they put in the guy that's played all 4 games as well. So
And then they went on to win that game, right?
yeah,
They came
so
back.
yeah, so I'm interested on who they're gonna start for game 1 there, and if the same situation comes up for Colorado as well. But I think Avalanche in 5 games.
Yeah, this is going to be a good matchup. I watched a couple of games of that Knights Duck series. The Knights did look pretty good, but I think that Vegas luck, that Vegas magic, is not gonna go their way this series. I got to take the Avs. I'll take the Avs in. I'll take the Avs in 5. I
Next
think that I
series.
think Vegas will be able to get one at home. That's the way I look at it. Next one, we got Canadians, Hurricanes. This one, oh gosh, it's
I know who I'm going with already.
yeah, I know who I'm going with. I'm going with the Hurricanes.
Hmm.
I'm going with the Hurricanes in 6 though. I think they finally drop a game because Montreal is going to be tough to play. Simple as that.
I don't think Carolina has played a true playoff team yet, and I feel like Montreal is gonna show up game 1 and take it to them and steal. I think Montreal will steal game 1 for sure. I'm going with Montreal to go to the Stanley Cup Finals in 7 games
Another
again.
7,
I think they're going
3 game
7 again.
7s for the Canadians.
I
That
think
would
they're
be
going 7 games again. I
that would
think
be something else.
Montreal is fun to watch. I mean, Cole Caulfield, who dropped like crazy in the NHL draft when he was getting drafted to Montreal, which every single kid that knew who Cole Caulfield was and the career he had to get drafted and how many goals he scored knew he always had this natural goal scoring in him. It took him a minute to put or jumpstart his career, just because playing in the minors, getting used to the NHL game, and I think he has like 50 goals this year.
Yeah, I think the Canadians are
Insane.
going to be tough to beat at this point. They've been rolling throughout this whole playoff.
Yeah, 51 goals, Cole Caulfield this year.
Yeah,
And you have
I
Nick
think
Suzuki on 101 points.
the thing for me looking at the Canadians is I do feel that they've been very hot and cold in the playoffs this year. But the one thing, game after game, is you can never count them out.
Hmm.
And they've been able to hold off some teams, and they've been able to kind of come back. And I mean, just that Game 7 win in overtime away, like everything was lining up for Buffalo. They came back from being down, they tied it up. Everything was going Buffalo's way until it didn't. And I think maybe Montreal still has some magic left, but who knows when the Hurricanes come rolling in. So that'll be a great series. I'm looking forward to watching that. But yeah, I mean, NBA, NHL closing down here. Obviously, we got the finals for each of those coming up. I believe probably in the next 2 weeks, I'd say, by the time the matchups are done for this conference finals. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who gets into the NBA finals, who gets into the Stanley Cup finals. And yeah, it's been great watching some good basketball, some good hockey. And yeah, I've really enjoyed being able to try and at least watch everything, unless it wasn't a very late puck drop or tip off. So I've been able to see a good bit. So that's been pretty enjoyable for me. At least you know me, I'm a pretty big sports guy all around. Don't really have anything specific that I follow. Kind of follow as much of as anything as I can. So I kind of just love every bit of it. So we can kind of get into this. We can go from the ice over to the pond. We could skip across the pond, land, and we could hit up Europe first. Obviously, a big day in the Premier League with
Unfortunately.
Man City's draw to Bournemouth today. Arsenal is your Premier League champions, first champs since 22 years ago for Arsenal. It's been quite some time. Definitely, if you're a football fan, that's not the way you wanted the season to go. You wanted City to win, and you wanted Tottenham to go down. But it looks like we're getting none of that this year.
Mm,
Obviously, with
wait on the Tottenham bit.
one match day left, anything can happen. Still, Tottenham is 2 points above
Yes,
West
two
Ham,
points.
2 points
2 points.
above West Ham, but
They
has a
just they need
significant goal
12,
differential. Um,
12 goal differential. They
so
they just
yeah,
need a draw.
they need a draw, and no matter what happens, Tottenham needs a win regardless.
No, Tottenham just needs a draw. Oh, you meant
Oh yeah,
West
I mean West
Ham.
Ham. I mean
Yeah.
West Ham. Yeah, my bad, my bad.
No, you're good.
Regardless, West Ham needs a win for anything to kind of fall into place before we number crunch about who gets in and who gets relegated. But yeah, it'll be a great final match day on Sunday, and I don't believe we have the spots already locked up for Champions League for European for the Prem.
I'll
I
tell
know
you
I know
who's
Arsenal,
locked up.
City, and Man U are all locked up.
No, I didn't. Are locked in. Villa is locked in. Um,
And then that last
Bournemouth,
spot is up in the
Bournemouth,
air.
are sitting six, 3 points behind Liverpool, but 6 goal difference. So Liverpool not statistically have it locked up yet, but logically they do.
Yep.
Um,
Bournemouth at 6, Brighton at 7, and Chelsea and Brentford neck and neck, and you can't count out Sunderland too. They're only a point behind those guys
yeah,
for
those
that last Conference League spot.
the seventh and eighth spot is up for grabs right now between legit from eighth to 13th. There could be so much
Yeah,
interchange that goes on right
some
there.
some final match day madness. I think I think also if Forest, what happens if Forest win
If
the
Force is so if
uh,
Force
Europa League?
they can't win the Europa League.
Or sorry, not Villa. I mean Villa
So if Villa wins the Europa League, their Champions League spot in the Prem drops
goes
down
to
to six
6.
six, which is
So
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth would go in, and
Yep.
it'd just be one team for Europa League,
Uh,
or would
Palace could still make
well yeah
Europa League
yeah.
as
But
well.
so if that
No,
happened, it'd just be
I
Brighton,
believe there'd still be 2 Europa League spots, so it'd go to seventh, eighth
and then ninth would have that Conference League.
Conference League,
Okay,
and then Palace could also get Europa League. Well, City won the FA Cup, which also qualifies for the Europa League.
So we got a
So
lot of teams
we have a lot
qualified
of teams qualifying. So there could
for.
be. Uh, so right now, well, Carabao Cup also gets you into Europe as well.
So basically, right now the top four they're locked in for Champions League,
Yeah,
and
top five.
top five locked in for Champions League, unless Bournemouth pulls off an incredible victory on final
Well,
match day.
top six could be locked in if Villa wins on.
I believe
They
it's
they
next
play.
week.
No, they
2 weeks?
play.
I thought it was next week.
No, they play tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, they play Europa League final tomorrow.
That is so weird.
Yeah, Europa League's earlier.
Okay, yeah, because Conference League is the week after. No,
Okay, so if Villa win tomorrow, the top six is solidified. Well, not yet because Brighton could hop Bournemouth
but
for
there's at least a solidified 6 teams in the Champions League. That's what we're getting at if Villa
yes,
win.
for
Yeah.
sure six
Yep.
in the
Okay.
Champions League. And then you have Palace could be in Europa
So then it could bump everything down. So we could get quite a bit of teams into European competition there from the Prem.
because you have the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and then
Different ways
the
you could qualify. Just
Europa League. Yep. It's
yeah.
just
So I mean
it's
it's shaping up to be a pretty exciting final match day. Obviously, the unfortunate of Arsenal already having the league locked up. That's not very exciting, but we do have a relegation battle final match day in the Prem, and we also have kind of a battle for the last few European competition spots. So a lot to look out for there for the final match day on Sunday. Did you what other league did you want to hit up? I know there's a couple that are kind of
the championship. Why not?
yeah. I mean, yeah, we
Spygate.
could stay in England Championship. Huge news with
Do you want me to? I can
Southampton
say the
beating.
whole.
Yeah, you could read it after. Southampton beat Middlesbrough to advance to play Hull City in the promotion match to get promoted from Championship up to the Premier League. But after the game this past weekend with Southampton beating Middlesbrough, some news came out.
They were spying on Middlesbrough. Um, first, uh, before the first game, the training session, which ended 0-0, the game. So who knows what they're spying on? But pretty much one of the, I think it was like interns, kind of intern
Yep.
coaches, was caught behind a tree with an iPhone
I mean, I
taking
don't know about
photos.
Cod. I think he was standing out in the open from
He
everything
was.
we've seen.
Oh, but either way, so Southampton moves on to the playoff final against Hull. Hull City has no idea who they're playing against. Southampton and
They found out
Middles
today.
in the borough, Middlesbrough. How do you even say? I can never. It's Middles. People say it's Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough.
That's just because they have such a thick accent. Like,
Yeah. So pretty much they both knew they were playing Hull City. Southampton, though, obviously with the Spygate, now they're kicked out of the playoffs. They have to forfeit the game, and Middlesbrough gets into the final against Hull City. Southampton gets a 4 point deduction applied to next season's table,
that won't matter.
which the final is remained scheduled for the 23rd
Yeah,
this
still this
Saturday.
Saturday. Still same date, same time, so that's very good.
And Taylor Harwood Bellis, when they scored the second goal, is going up to the other players with the binoculars pretending to spy.
That
And
didn't pan out.
Southampton did also spy on three other games that season, and they didn't win a single game that they spied on. And
That's
also,
the thing that just doesn't make sense to me is why are you spying? Soccer's not a sport. Football's not a sport where you would spy on an opposing team's practice. There's no plays. You're not gaining an
but
advantage.
like
You
you're
know,
tr think about what he watched in the time that he was there. Like he wasn't, I don't think he was there that long before he got caught. What, he saw some rondos?
well, I just don't think you gain anything. Okay, you can see, okay, maybe this guy that was maybe doubtful.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, he's training, so he'll be good. So we gotta prepare for this guy because now he's no longer injured. He's been in practice. But besides that, you're not gaining anything. At the end of the day, they still got to go out there and play. It's not like football. It's not like American football where there's literally plays, so you can gain that advantage
Well,
by
I'm just
knowing how they line up and whatnot, so you can kind of affect your defense to counteract that. But in a sport like soccer, it just makes zero sense and just honestly quite dumb. If I was a Southampton player, I would be quite pissed off.
well, like he watched rondos probably for like 20 minutes
Yeah, I mean,
and had to run away. What'd you get from the training session? Rondos.
not a good look. Not a good look.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
do love a lot of the energy and controversy coming out of England. I think another one that's probably going to be pretty exciting for final match day is over in Spain in La Liga.
Yeah, that
Their
relegation fight.
their European spots are locked up, so we're not touching on that. I'm more focused on their relegation battle as teams 19 through 13 are all not safe.
Yeah, there's a lot of
19 through
goal
13 could all be
in
relegated.
Spain. I think Spain's a little different. It doesn't go straight to goal differential, I want to say
Probably
right away.
goes
I
to
think
like
head to
head to
head.
head and then probably like
It-
goals for.
No, it goes head to head, then goal differential. So,
Okay.
like, let's say Girona and Sevilla are tied on points, but Girona's beat them twice.
Yeah.
Girona jumps them. So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, Sevilla was in the relegation zone a couple weeks ago, and now they've been able to climb out of that, but they're still not safe. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on this final match day. And I do believe they're playing quite a few of each other. And a couple of those teams that aren't safe do have some tougher matchups. So it'll be
and then
interesting to see kind of how that shapes up.
Bundesliga qualification final as well between Paderborn and Wolfsburg is on Monday.
Yeah, that was.
Two legs in the relegation playoff there.
Yeah, I love the relegation playoff. That's going to be very
It's
exciting
fun.
to watch. Wolfsburg, I think they will stay up. Obviously, you never know, but I did watch their game last weekend against St. Pauli, and that was do or die for either team basically to either get relegated or have a chance to survive. And St. Pauli got the L last weekend, so Wolfsburg gets the opportunity to play next year in Bundesliga without getting relegated. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite the interesting matchup there. But I do think Wolfsburg's got a couple good guys that they can make their way to safety.
How crazy is it? May 31st, USA friendly. The day after Champions League final, just straight into international friendlies.
Yeah, a couple friendlies, and then we go straight into the World Cup for about a month, and that's going to be epic.
Let's relegation predictions. Who's getting relegated? West Ham or Tottenham?
West Ham's going to get relegated. I Tottenham still has a little bit of fight, although they're just ass. I don't really know how else to describe what I watched today,
Tot
but
both at home. Both teams are at home, so
both teams home.
it's gonna be exciting atmosphere. On
Tottenham had who
edge.
does Tottenham play?
Tottenham has Everton. David Moyes could save West Ham.
Tough matchup there with Everton. They've been able to get some pretty good results. Obviously, got a result against City last week that shook up the table and helped Arsenal get their title. But yeah, I think West Ham will get relegated. I just have no faith. And even if West Ham could get a win and Tottenham can scrape a point, I mean they still need, like you mentioned, 14 goals. So you just need to rely a lot on David Moyes, and we'll see how Everton will help out those irons, but it's not looking very likely. Not sure if you saw any of the other leagues, but kind of a big one that caught my eye that I believe will affect kind of how this the summer transfer window goes is Juve. They are now no longer in the Champions League spot for Serie A. Do you think that will affect some of the transfers that they were kind of rumored to get? I know a big name that's been going around has been Bernardo Silva,
Allison.
Bernardo
Allison as
Silva.
well.
Yeah, but I think Bernardo Silva has been the main one on a free from City. He's 31, still has some legs left on him, and it looked like he was probably going to go to Juve. Do you think them not being in a Champions League spot, do you think that's going to hurt some of the guys they'll be able to get, or do you think the way they were going to go, kind of getting the older free agents, do you think they just won't care because it's Juve after all?
Yeah, I mean, they have a derby to finish off the season as well with Torino, um, which is a massive game just for Juve in general. Roma finish off the year with Hellas Verona, so it pretty much Champions League is out of reach for them
Unless there's a miracle, and it just does not seem
unless
likely.
they get the extra coefficient place, which I don't think they will. Um, but um, yeah, I mean, looks like Europa League next year. I think they could get. I don't think it will affect it as much as you really think
Yeah, I still think
because
that the name of the
of
club is
the
going to
name
attract people.
and how competitive they are still in the
Yeah,
league.
they're
Like,
still competitive. Obviously,
oh wait,
enters.
hold on, Milan. They could. They need Como to lose. They need to win their game either way.
Yeah, they need to win, and they
They
basically
need
need Como to tie or lose, and they need Roma to lose.
or Milan.
Yeah,
Milan's also on 70 points. So I think just how competitive they are in the league and how even Serie A is between um second place and sixth place. It's separated by was that 6 points?
yeah.
6 points.
I think it's going to be tough for Juve to get that result on the final
I
match day.
think I think they can uh sell those players with a good selling point on where the team is going in direction and also a little bit of cash their way and maybe a little less training and they'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, it'll be
I,
interesting to see kind of what happens in this summer transfer window. But I think that's going to do it here for episode 35 of the Section for Fans. See you next time.